shot. Fleta with the Helix rocket, man.
All right, making a statement. EQO going to work.
Seoul Dynasty steamrolling.
Philly with a dominant performance here.
What's up, Blizzard Arena? We're here once again for another great day at the Overwatch League. I'm Golden Boy, your host for this week. Of course, standing in for Puckett, who's having some very well-deserved rest. But I'm joined by my friends, Reinforced Crumbs and Zoe. This is going to be a good day.
Yeah. No Brenda
Yeah,
side,
yeah.
though.
No Brenda side show.
Nice day of Overwatch.
Honestly, I
No
think this
unnecessary.
might very well be the best day we're gonna have this week. Looking at the matchup today, I'm super pumped.
That's
but then
bold
again,
claim, Cotton.
yeah, the thing is, we said that last week already and kind of didn't turn out like I wanted. But you know, I have faith.
Yeah, let's see how it works out.
Yeah, you know what I have faith in? The overall standings, because those will never let you wrong. Isn't that right, Johnny? Let's look at that one real quick here, because NYXL sitting pretty at the top. We're going to see Seoul Dynasty take the stage here in a little bit, but they're going to be in second place. And then you have that Philadelphia Fusion group living down there by the 6th place spot, looking pretty solid so far. And then here's the stage 2 standings now. And where we are here, because the Seoul Dynasty are actually at the top of the pack in stage 2, sitting at 5-0, looking to make that one 6-0 today. Meanwhile, and I'm going to highlight it again, you have the boys over in Philly Fusion 3-1. This could be a big matchup for them here. And that is going to be our first game of the day. It's going to be the Philadelphia Fusion and the Seoul Dynasty. Then we will have the Houston Outlaws versus the Los Angeles Valiant. I did that on purpose, and they went the hook, line, and sinker, baby. And then our final game will be the Boston Uprising versus the Shanghai Dragons. But first, let's go ahead and welcome your first team to the stage. Give everyone a warm welcome over at the Philadelphia Fusion. This team coming into this one 9-5 overall, 3-1 in stage 2. While they did reverse sweep Houston last week, they ended up getting swept by London.
They did, but I did talk to them after their game and asked why it looked so one-sided. They did say that they don't think they had enough time to practice and prepare with Shadowburn back in the lineup. But as you just saw, as they took to the stage, EQO is back in the game, baby.
Exactly, EQO is back. This team went 8-0 when he was in the lineup. He offers a little bit more of synergy with Carpe because when this team was playing, look at that, even got these
He's
glasses.
swagged out.
He's
He's swagged out
swagging
so
out.
hard right there,
And
bro.
if that's not enough, go to the Overwatch site, read his story, cry a little, come back, watch these guys just smoke it, because I love this guy's story. And on top of that, they're playing against Seoul. Miro from Seoul said that Philadelphia with EQO was the best team in the league.
Yeah, I think it's a welcome change with EQO coming in now, because London just dismantled the Philadelphia Fusion, of course. So you want to change up your play style, because now there's footage, you know, on the website. This is how Philadelphia Fusion play. This is how you dismantle them. But a new look today coming out with EQO.
Yeah, this Philadelphia Fusion team with EQO is looking to make some waves here, and they have been doing so thus far. A big matchup for them, but their opponent not to be slept on at all. They're currently sitting pretty on the top of stage 2. Let's welcome to the stage, folks, the Seoul Dynasty. Coming off of a victory against Shanghai yesterday, 3-1. They didn't play their starters that day, as a matter of fact, but you saw Bunny run rampant through everyone, so
Yeah, I mean, well, it basically looked like they told the Seoul Dynasty team, you know what, you guys are going to run dive, never switch from this composition, and Bunny, let's see how hard you can carry 1v6. He carried pretty damn hard, but it wasn't hard enough. They dropped the map against Shanghai, and in stage 1, that cost them playoffs. Once again, they made the same mistake in hubris, and I want to see this team really step it up, because if that loss is going to bite them, it's going to hurt again.
yeah.
I mean, I talked to Cookie yesterday after the match, and he said that they decided to split their roster for this very week. So the lineup you're now seeing has specifically practiced for these maps against this very team. So I therefore expected dominant performance. No pressure, but a lot of pressure, actually.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, they have sort of settled into this meta in stage 2, of course, but I think we need to see this guy, Munchkin, step up a little bit for these top games versus the top teams. I think Seoul Dynasty has been pretty comfortable thus far in the matchup they've had so far. But I need to Munchkin, see him step up another level and actually compete with the top tracers in the league.
But you know, they can always sub him out and just put Bunny back in. I thought he looked sick yesterday. Obviously, he did not go unchecked. He got away with a lot.
It's different play styles as well. I think the Bunny is more of a solo tracer or Munchkin plays with the team. So it's different looks.
Yeah, they're going to certainly need that, especially considering that they're going to be facing off against EQO, who they know they have to fear on Philadelphia Fusion. Makes them into a better team here. But for the Fusion, though, so I know you had a chance to speak with them because they're trying to find the cracks in the armor of this Seoul Dynasty team.
They are, and according to them, they have found them cracks in them armors. I did talk to them prior to the game.
Cracks in the
All
armors.
them cracks. But I talked to them prior to the game, and they told me that during the scrims they had with the Seoul Dynasty, as well as just watching their game, they have spotted a lot of weaknesses. Unfortunately, they weren't able to tell me what those weaknesses are, but apparently they are there, and Fusion is looking to abuse them.
Yeah, but also me and Crumbs, we know from our playing careers that when you play Koreans in practice, they might not show your full potential. So it might just be a facade, you know, you go in confident versus Seoul Dynasty, and then they just punish you.
Sure, but I think that the Philadelphia team this time around, they're very serious because Seoul Dynasty in Stage 1, they said, we were looking forward to play Houston, and we thought they were just joking around, and it was true. They actually meant that Houston was a serious contender. Once again, they say that Philadelphia is one of the best teams, if not the best team in the league, and I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt again. I think that they're being honest here, and that Philadelphia is actually going to just be incredible today.
Yeah, when I used to compete back in the day, we were just going up against 16-year-old kids who came out of high school and just were unfair. You know,
I mean, it's pretty much Miro, right?
It's pretty much fair, you know. So that's a whole different look. I couldn't even begin to imagine what you guys went through. All right, so now we got to talk about the head-to-head matchup here.
Yeah.
Who do you have? Who do you have?
I have Miro versus Fraggy. I think this is an incredibly important matchup coming into this game. We see Fraggy. I want to highlight his death per 10 minute here. It's a bit higher. It just goes to show how aggressive he is compared to Miro. We like to think of Miro as an aggressive Winston as well, but I think the numbers show here that he stays alive a lot longer and he plays more with his team. So I think Philadelphia Fusion, they will try to step up their tempo here and play really fast. Fraggy diving head in, maybe Poke on the Diva won't even be able to support him with the defense matrix, but that won't matter because they play so fast and so aggressive. And meanwhile, Miro, he's going to play a bit more passive perhaps and actually make use of the support from his supports with the Ana and the Zenyatta and the Lucio, of course. So a bit different styles. And I want to see Miro try to punish the aggression coming out from Philadelphia.
Well, what you get when you have one of these tanks that plays so aggressive is that they create a lot of space for your DPS, which means that they push forward or they push back the enemy. Now your DPS can maneuver a little bit easier. They have just big bodies of HP blocking away damage so they can deal damage more safely. And I think that benefits Philly a little bit more because you've got Carpe and EQO, and this DPS duo, I think it's just been proving to have more synergy, dare I say, than Fleta and anybody else of the
I have a lot of
Seoul
experience
Dynasty.
diving like Fraggy.
Yeah.
You know. We were Philadelphia Fusion before it was cool, okay?
Did you win as much?
I was about to ask, like, weren't too successful though, were you?
Oh, it's just won a few tournaments. Yeah. Just one game from APAC.
My God, it's like I have to
tournaments, okay?
fan myself down on this desk with the heat that's just being secreted here.
Diablo.
All right. There you go. Look at that. You got it, bud.
Secretion.
All right, let's. And I had to fit that word into a broadcast.
Yeah, great. Thanks.
And I'll fit many more. All right, so predictions. Let's go. John, what you got?
Yeah. You know, I'm a bit of a Philadelphia fan. I like how they play so aggressive and so much dive and so fast, but I'm actually going to go with the Seoul Dynasty for this one because London sort of dismantled Philadelphia
Typical
Fusion
Johnny.
last week, and I think they will make use of the strategies and just shut down Philadelphia Fusion right
Typical
away.
Johnny.
That's
just
a different Philly, baby. That's a different Philly.
Yeah.
They've got EQO back in the lineup.
Well,
I
they
think.
dive. They play Genji Tracer.
Yeah, but it's so different, right? You got
It is.
the literal ninja. He wants to be undetected. Now with EQO, he's always poking away.
Okay, we'll see what
assisting the
Reed Hope
lineup.
does with
All right,
Fraggy.
yeah,
Yeah.
sure, we'll see it. Because
Yeah.
I'm going with Philly. I'm Philly.
You're
Philly
going
all the way.
Philly.
You know what? I wouldn't even be surprised if Philly just walks all over Seoul.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, you
It's
heard it.
getting hot over here. It's cold as hell in the arena, but it is hot on this desk. Zoe, what you got for me, girl?
Oh man, this one is a hard one, and recently I've not been doing too well with my predictions on the desk, to be honest, because I always went with the heart and not my brain. But my brain right now.
Go with the brain.
Fusion.
Go with the
No.
Honestly, if it weren't for EQO in the lineup, I probably would have given Seoul Dynasty the edge. But I honestly believe that with EQO, their playstyle just works so well, and it will work really well against Seoul Dynasty.
This is okay. This is interesting. You know, when you talk about Seoul Dynasty, everyone just always immediately goes and they pull a Johnny. They just goes. They explain to you why Philly's such a good team, and then pick Seoul. You know,
A wise man once said, named Monte Cristo, he said, "Don't ever bet against the Koreans." That's what I'm doing today.
that's true. Okay, and you've experienced that. So I understand. I understand. You know what? All right. Well, I'm ready to get into the game. You guys ready to get into the game? I like the energy in the arena today, guys. It's going to be awesome. We got the Philly Fusion going up against the Seoul Dynasty. Let's send it over to my friend Semler and Hexagrams.
Thank you so much, Golden Gramps. You know, I wish that we had more time on the desk just because, you know, he'd just like whip out the cane and start talking about back in the day when he was playing on his Nintendo.
Yeah, back in my day when Super Mario Brothers 3 came out.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man. Seriously. I mean, Hex, predictions, are you getting caught off guard a little bit here? I feel like, you know, there's a lot of support for Fusion on that desk. We got to get their heads checked.
I could see it going both ways. I think a lot of it is the tank play that Reinforce mentioned. You know, he's got a lot of experience diving like Fraggy, also a lot of experience dying like Fraggy. So if they can keep Fraggy alive in that ultra-aggressive style, should work out for him.
Neither of them are cowards. Neither of them are cowards.
There's a very specific tweet mentioning such things. We're going to start off in Volskaya. Soul's played really well on Volskaya lately. 100% win rate here in Stage 2 on Volskaya, so it's going to be tough for Philly to come out on it. If we get to Gibraltar, it goes the other way. Philly's got 100% win rate on Gibraltar as well, so the pool is very interesting here. I just want to watch EQO play, man. I mean, he's played so well. They did talk a bit about how London 4-0'd this team, and London actually mentioned to me that Philadelphia is an easy team to prepare for. They're not surprising anybody. They play what they play, but they happen to play it very, very well.
This is where it gets real fun because Seoul, they have that depth of roster, right, where they can actually separate. This has been the problem with a lot of the teams. They've been saying we lack the time to prepare properly with 2 matches. You know, if we had 1 match, we can put all of our energy into preparing for that. What do Seoul do? They're like, right, okay, well, let's just split the team in half. Half of the team prepares for 1 match, half the team prepares for the other. There you go. Take it out of the equation.
A very intellectual team. They have an academic approach to the game, and I'm promising today I will call 0 fights early because Seoul will come in at the very last second with a plan and hold it back. They did so on Volskaya yesterday. It was all but over on first point. They get 1 person in there, get a kill, get 2 people in there. It's never over if Seoul's still on the map.
This is where it gets real fun, though, because it was mentioned, it was lightly touched on, you know, the hubris. I like that, hubris. It sounds nice. But what is going on here is that Seoul, they haven't really faced the top dogs in the league yet. You know, and Stage 1 played out in a very similar way. They start off rip-roaring through, they're shredding opponents, and then they hit some of the tougher opposition. We see them stumble. Seoul, right now, Philadelphia Fusion, they cannot take them lightly. This is a real chance here for Philly to start strong and get an upset win.
Well, early on, we have a little bit interesting stuff. EQO going to add another hero to his pool, play some Widowmaker. Generally, that's Carpe's role, but Carpe is going to be playing the Tracer for this team. Both teams with similar compositions. No Sombra on the field for either side, which has been a staple of Volskaya lately.
Miro just hanging out over there waiting, turning his back as if they're not going to push forward if you can't see them. Doesn't work that way. They're not T-Rexes, but they are going to be moving in. And there it is. The first kill coming in for Seoul Dynasty. In fact, and there's Fleta winning the duel versus EQO.
The Resurrection had already gone off on Fraggy, who died very early, so they're just going to be without their Widowmaker, without your own Widow to provide pressure on the opposing Widow. There's almost nothing you can do. You can try to re-engage with both of your tanks, but that doesn't always work with no shield tank on the field. You need that Widow uncomfortable. EQ out of it. Fleta's done so much damage, he already has Infrasight ready.
And I like how he's staggering it. He's just waiting to use it because he knows, well, they are going to take some time to reset, and now when the push comes through, boom, all the info available here for Seoul Dynasty. This hold should get better. And there we go. Headshot to start things off. Fleta making it easy when you can see through walls. Could get the follow-up as well, but they're already backing off on this one, Philly.
They already have to reset. They lost too much right there. They did take down Munchkin, but it's not going to matter as he's resurrected immediately. That's shut down yet again as Seoul makes good use of that scouting information provided by Infrasight. And so far, just doing a very good job. Support ultimates coming on side for Philly, though.
Nice body blocking from Poco. Just a detail, but, you know, putting the big meaty targets in front of the squishies, that's exactly what you want to do. Fleta couldn't hit the shot there. And so they do make a little bit of progress here, Philadelphia Fusion on the offense. They need to get onto this point, and that is exactly what's happening. Fraggy and Poco take the lead. They're getting out there, and there's Miro hopping back to get back over here with his teammates.
A nice kill there on Munchkin means that the flanking Tracer is now out of this mix. Fleta's actually uncharacteristically missed a few shots on the Zenyatta on the ground. He could have really changed the scope of this fight. However, though, third ultimate's coming out. Poco's got self-destruct ready too. Fleta out of the mix makes the rest of Philly very comfortable.
Exactly right. It's so comfortable, in fact, that they're going to go ahead and paint the walls red. Poco crushing them. And there's the collapse. That's exactly what Philly were looking for. That one kill to really start things rolling for them. And Seoul Dynasty just not able to counter-engage effectively.
Even with 6 dead, I'm not counting Seoul out of this first defense. All right, maybe I am.
Maybe you are now. Come on, Hex.
They are going to take first point rather easily after a couple of early entrances went wrong, and we have wholesale changes on both sides. There comes the Sombra for the defense. That's going to be Jaehong on that. Fleta will move over to a defensive Genji. Other side of things, the man trying to counter that is going to be EQO. He will try to counter both the Sombra and the Genji. He's a very good counter to both heroes.
Exactly, that flashbang. Excellent for taking down the Sombra. And well, already, just Carpe going to work, farming up that pulse bomb as quick as possible. And well, Toby, you know, the wings are popped. Philadelphia Fusion realized they have plenty of time on the clock. They can just go ahead and back off, wait it out.
I really like that Soul's going to straight up deny that over there, though. Toby is very far back. He's going to switch onto the Lucio in the back line, but you don't want to let them in up top there to get the scouting information that they want on the offense. Make them come in blind.
One other thing here is that Jaehong is not having a good time here because they're taking so little damage. Soul, he's not got that EMP for this push, and so that's going to force yet another ult out of it from Seoul Dynasty. Miro's going to be punching him in the face. EQO gets forced back.
Miro just cuts that team in half. That ends the push because they simply can't coordinate when they're being batted in the air by Primal Rage Winston. Moving forward, the ultimate's about to come online for Philadelphia Fusion. Is going to be Boombox with his Coalescence, and EQO will have a Deadeye. Don't necessarily combo well together, but maybe they can find some space for the Deadeye. I like the drive-by Deadeye, where you go up on the ramp.
Well, Jaehong's on a mission, and well, the shots are there, and he comes out of stealth too early. Not going to be able to get those high-value targets. Boombox already picked the Coalescence, but he gets hacked. Beautiful work there from Jaehong, and it will be a full clean here from Seoul Dynasty, hunting Philadelphia Fusion down at their spawn.
Not the flashiest or cleanest of fights, but it doesn't matter. You expect to win fights that you EMP, and that's all that matters in the end. Did I hit my EMP, make sure that everyone can't get away or use any of their abilities, and then clean it up? It doesn't have to be this perfectly clean 6 kills off an EMP. You just win the fight. It doesn't matter. Toby is going to have 80% on his sound barrier coming up. Neptuno about to match him as well. EQO has not found what he was looking for in the McCree. Will switch to Soldier 76 instead.
As soon as those tanks move, things are going to get dicey. Literally. Fleta's got the blade. He's looking for the angle. Fade has been used as well. Boombox has no way out, but Carpe will start things off. There's the one. Sound barrier is out, however, to cancel this Dragon Blade. Fleta finally gets the kill on EQO. Some damage dealt, and he's even staying alive, although he is under pressure, and they will hunt him down. Poco with the kill.
This one's not over yet. They started off with a huge pulse bomb, got 2 kills very early. Poco's going to come in and clean up the rest of that DPS. Now it's just a matter of staying alive on the point to see that they can stall this out, but the kills come quickly again for Philadelphia. They continue to clean up.
Oh, and follow-up EMP as well. That could really turn the tide. And yes, Seoul Dynasty behind the EMP, just go charging out onto the point, looking to take advantage of it. Boombox with the Lighthouse, though, doing a lot of damage. And then with the help of Poco, the kill on Toby will make life difficult here for Jaehong.
They're doing such a good job of coming out and chasing kills, but still keeping a presence on the point so far. No permanent progress has been done. They continue to battle this one out. This one, it might not be over, but if you're Philadelphia, you need the next couple of kills or you're going to bail.
Oh, there we go. It is going to be EQO finally getting the attack visor, guns down Zumba, and a hail of bullets. And now they start to make some progress here on this point. Seoul Dynasty trying to play it patiently, but with Fraggy batting you in the face, keeping you off the point, they will be able to get the contest before 50% is gained, and that's going to be Carpe managing to take down the Winston.
Locked in the corner, they're going to throw down a sound barrier as well to give everyone nice shields there. Zumba gets demexed and deleted quickly. Still going for it, not quite at 2 ticks yet, 7 minutes.
Right, but they are getting there. Very close now. You do have Munchkin trying to do the best that he can here to just tap the point. Tanks are back into this fight as well for Seoul, but they get forced back, giving up too much ground. Toby and Jaehong were both on the side as well, just 2 feet away from being able to tap that point and keep the contest alive.
I like what Philadelphia decided to give up there during that fight because they were at about 32%. Of course, you get permanent progress at 33%, and they vacated the point. There was death on the point had they tried to go for it and just played super aggressive, which is kind of Philadelphia's style. They backed up, gave up all that progress. The progress actually reverted back down to 0, but because of that, they were still alive and able to re-engage without having to reset on the long walk from your spawn to Volskaya point B.
Well, now we get to see, because Seoul, they're getting challenged here. What was it you were saying, Hex? Volskaya? Seoul? Used to the cold?
Yeah, 100% win rate so far on Volskaya. They've definitely got a strategy. It's a little interesting to not run a Sombra on first, But Seoul's defense on first has been so good without it that they haven't really had an issue there. One of the issues with not running Sombra on first is that even if you lose first, you usually have EMP waiting on second. And one of the biggest issues with assault maps especially is the snowball mechanic. If you get wiped on first, that means the other team has charged up all their ultimates and their first push on a second point is going to be overwhelming. Now what can completely mitigate that is an EMP to shut that down and then get your kills and then get your feet under you and stabilize on that defense.
So let's see what kind of defense we have here from Philadelphia Fusion. Looking like the dive EQO on the Genji, though. That's always a joy, a pleasure to see. And Neptuno on Ana, so a bit of that long-range sniper healing coming in off the high ground.
Yeah, I would like to see where they want to set up with that Ana, because there's a couple of high grounds here, but you generally want to hold up there with somebody who can protect you. Yeah. And Ana's going to be very exposed in a dive composition.
Boombox is chilling up there as well. Are they just going to stay there as a duo?
These supports can peel with each other very well. In the past, we've seen Mercy and Zenyatta hanging out, and it makes them both nigh unkillable. We'll see if they can do something similar with Neptuno and Boombox. Look, Neptuno is one of the best supports in the league as far as just being aggressive and getting after kills. And Ana, you know, he's obviously got the aim and mechanics.
Oh, this is cool. Munchkin has gone for the long flank from Spawn. So he could potentially get in here. He's just waiting for this go signal here from his team, but they're holding so far back, Philadelphia Fusion. Seems like he's still just on the hunt. Fleta, in the meantime, just chucking shurikens in people's faces. He's going to be able to get out of there intact, and that sets it up. Munchkin ready and waiting to go and collapse on Fraggy. Nowhere to hide. Munchkin one step ahead that entire time, playing it so patient.
He had been hiding out for EQO, who went over there to check it out. Both teams have now lost their Winston, but of course the trades are going to benefit the offense. And who needs trades when you can just straight up get kills? Fleta waiting for that health back to recharge. It's a nervous moment there, but he gets to it. Will be cut up. However, a DMAC will take the Diva down. They're not even putting time on the point. Point's empty right now. They're just chasing kills.
They are. This is interesting. As an afterthought, Poco picks up the kill on Fleta. That works. And well, what looked like a very solid situation here for Seoul has been kind of flipped on its head. Philadelphia Fusion are the ones who are battling back. Munchkin is, of course, still around. Looking to get on this point to stop it from degrading completely, their progress, that is. And they are now starting to push forward here. Seoul Dynasty getting close to 2 ticks on the first point before it can get contested at the last second.
It was very strange that they didn't go after the point there. I wonder if that's a bait, and I wouldn't put it past Seoul to get the tanks back in there, because that's another 400, 500 charge in your ultimate going forward. And now this is the danger of the snowball. Nearly every ultimate almost online for the Seoul Dynasty.
Yeah, they took that so patient. They have plenty of tools in the toolbox here to just keep on pushing forward. And yeah, speak of it, Fleta, he's gonna try and get the hack. Not quite gonna get it. Was looking for that kill, but instead it is going to be the self-destruct trying to clear out that point. Munchkin having a bit of a duel over here, and he will get overwhelmed. Boombox lends the hand, orb to the face. Munchkin's out of it, and that could stall things here for Seoul Dynasty. It's looking like they have to give ground.
Boombox jamming out, gets himself 3 kills there, and Philadelphia stabilized on that defense. It is so worrisome early on after you lose first point, and then you donate a couple more tank bodies there, which Seoul, I think, was allowing them to do it. I have to go back and really look at it so that they could have the ultimate advantage. But Boombox peels so well with Neptuno back there. Neptuno's riding walls, and of course, a Tracer versus Lucio. Even if you win that as Tracer, you spend a lot of time doing it generally.
Yeah, he's a slippery snake. He is not easy to get on. We go for the one clip, right? That's exactly what you're hoping for with Tracer. And instead, it's going to be EQ waiting for the back line. He's been spotted, though. Has to back off. Definitely going to get out of here just in the nick of time. Stays alive with 50 HP, but that's definitely not what he was hoping for. Good awareness there from Zumba watching the back line. But there's Carpe. Stick, no kill with the Pulse Bomb. Instead, he has to back as well. Just get some healing.
Now we're just going to start seeing Transcendences probably come out of both teams. Fraggy has gotten his Primal Rage on, trying to do a little bit of stall. It's been all Seoul so far, though. Need to find a little bit of a kill. Seoul will double down, throw down the sound barrier.
That forces it out. Boombox now going to go for the trance. We'll have a sound barrier in just a moment's time here from Neptuno. Isn't going to be fast enough, though. Fleta making sushi out of him.
So smart there to use the sound barrier. Then they get a later Transcendence from their own Zenyatta to counter the other Transcend. Toby will go down in this fight, though, so it's still 5 on the point for Seoul as they continue to push. I believe they're nearing their second tick of progress there. They continue to clean up. Zumba out of mech, though.
You get presence on it. You keep presence on it. It's starting to degrade. They're holding Philly. Philadelphia Fusion yet again managed to hold the line. And Seoul Dynasty only able to pick up the 1 tick so far. 4 minutes on the clock, though, for Seoul, so they still have plenty of time to work with here. No reason to get frustrated yet.
The pairs of roles are working so well for Philadelphia together. You saw it early on with the peel for your own support. Boombox coming in to help out Neptuno, even though he was kind of out in no man's land. The DPS are working very well together as well, always chasing down Fleta. Fleta has not looked comfortable so far, though he is nearing a blade.
Shut down Fleta, definitely one of the keys to victory here if you are Philly. Take that damage out of the equation. Munchkin with the stick, but no kill! Somehow, Miro's able to get out intact. He gets topped up immediately by his healers.
Dragon jumped last second. It could have been very dangerous there. Here comes the blade, though. He does find Winston in the corner. Will go down immediately. Fleta out of this fight, though, to EQO. That's so much finishing and damage potential gone.
Munchkin needs to step up here. He needs to deliver a kill, and sure enough, he finds it. Carpe gone. And now they do manage to roll it over. Seoul Dynasty off the back of that push. You're thinking, well, with Fleta out of the picture, they might be lacking that, like, what, closing power. But everybody else really stepped up there for Seoul to make that attack happen.
Now let's take a listen to the comms on the attack.
Big son.
It's more on point, more on point. Leave it one. Playing off point side.
Hyper, no shadow.
Supplement.
I
shifted.
Apoteling down.
Tracer. Supplement top left. Okay. Let's go.
Enlightening.
Yeah, there was...
How quick they can say monkey. It always blows my mind.
It was very close. I was actually on the edge of my seat there because I hadn't heard it so far. Then the last 2 seconds, they came through with the monkey. I'm like, oh, clearly,
there it is.
Clearly we're listening to Overwatch comms here. Other than that, I could not have figured it out. But that is the attack for the Philadelphia Fusion. We are all knotted up here on Volskaya Industries. 2-2. Philadelphia with less time in their bank by about 90 seconds there. But the thing, we talked about Fleta, and he did not look comfortable on the Genji the entire time. They were focusing him very hard. He went down in that fight. The problem is, behind Fleta, there's another 5 guys who could win the game for you for Seoul Dynasty.
I thought you were going to go really ham there, just throw out another 5 Fletas or something. I don't know where we were going with that one, Hex. But, I mean, that would be a pretty dire state if you're going up against 5 Fletas. Still, Seoul Dynasty, they're going to be the ones on the defense here. They've got a hold for 1:40. Philadelphia Fusion are allowed straight through the entrance, however. Pretty passive hold so far coming in from Seoul. Similar to last time, Miro waiting on the flank, hoping to catch EQ out of position, but no, not going to happen. He has to back off and get topped up.
It's a little bit of a dance right now, trying to figure out which angle is open for the attack here. So far, it's been nothing, and Fleta's not giving EQO a target, so he's going to grapple up and go for it anyway. But the orb onto Fleta, Fleta will escape.
Bold plays from EQO, but that's what you have to go for here if you're going to go toe-to-toe with the likes of Fleta. Fleta able to back off just in the nick of time. And here is the flank. Munchkin trying to go to work, trying to sow discord here in the back ranks, and goes for the stick, not going to get it. Not the stick, actually, just decided to dive in there. He will get out, though.
They were really going after the tank play there, but now there is a small advantage for Philadelphia. They've taken 1 down, they've taken 2 down. It is a 6v4 on the first point, but now Toby will bring Fleta back into it. Gotta watch your head.
Azumba now gone, that's a big beefy target. Fleta equalizes though, takes down Fraggy, takes down left and right, but Carpe winning the duel versus Munchkin should be the turning point here for Philadelphia Fusion. Fleta has to be careful, watch his head, you can see him ducking out of the way, and EQO once more finding the follow-up. Jaehong hangs on by a thread.
I really like that they went after that too, because Seoul was just waiting up there. They didn't want to go back in just yet. They're kind of a last-second dive in just to stall it out team. And Philadelphia took the fight to them, sent the tanks up there, created some space for EQO to try to hit those shots. Though he's not going to have infra sight. Now he does spot Fleta on the left-hand side. They're just going to walk right down to the point though.
Oh boy. Bit too hot to handle there, bit too many targets. Will have the grapple, however, to get out of harm's way. Poco, however, wins the duel versus Miro, and so this could really start things off. Philadelphia Fusion, they have the ult advantage as well. Trance has been used by Boombox to keep it running here, to keep his teammates alive. Nobody dead yet for Philadelphia Fusion.
This is the second time one of the Seoul tanks has put themselves in that corner, essentially donating their body to science, but EQO goes down. Did not see Miro diving in on him, distracted over there. Now we're fighting in a hallway.
Never a good idea. Almost as bad as a basement, but they will get caught. They will get crushed up against the wall. Miro's still here, primal, but he will be able to jump back to safety. Neptuno gets the res on Boombox, though, and so there is still a presence here for Philadelphia Fusion, although, as I say, that Fraggy gets clipped by Munchkin, and that might end it.
That's a big presence down. EQO switches last second to Doomfist just for the mobility to get back on the point, and he's got some self-sustain. Should he be able to get there? He cannot get there. EQO down. Carpe down. It does not seem as though Philadelphia will be able to pull this one out. That flood of gold in the kill feed confirms that suspicion. Seoul's last defense will hold there.
No progress either. Super solid work coming in here from Seoul. And now the pressure going to start ratcheting up here a little bit for Philadelphia Fusion. They've only got the 1 point progress. They've got to get that hold. But remember, Seoul Dynasty, they have quite a bit of time left in this bank. 322.
322 is a lot of time. The win condition for Philadelphia is to stop them from getting first. So if you want to do that, you can sell out and go for a Sombra early on here. Try to make sure that your hold is there.
I thought you were going to say, no, this is where you really got to go for the deep plays, Hex. It's time to break out the Sim Torb combo. Let's go. Full cheese. Some Roque 4 up here. Yes, please.
I would love to see some Symmetra, but I think I'm the only one so far. You can hold like left side pack room with Symmetra here. Maybe get a teleporter up, but you know, those are gold level strats, not necessarily the Overwatch League strat.
But that's exactly it. They'll never expect it.
Never
They'll
see it
never
coming.
expect that. They'll never see it coming.
Is that we were playing a little yesterday, and I'm like, it's playing against like bad poker players. I'm like, because I don't expect what they're going to do.
Exactly.
I'm like a mile back on Junkertown, and all of a sudden there's a Pharah behind me. Where did that come from? I don't know how to play against that.
You did legitimately get pretty pissed. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, I should have unplugged my microphone yesterday. But hey, passion. Hashtag passion.
Hashtag passion, hashtag esports, hashtag YOLO! I don't know. So, Philadelphia Fusion are getting into it. Now it is them trying to set up the impenetrable defense. Seoul Dynasty looking to go into them like a wrecking ball. And Carpe already poking along the edges here, just trying to figure it out. Poco on the high ground as well. We'll get chased back with that Discord Orb. Definitely doesn't want to hang around here too long. Stay in line of sight of your healers because you've got Neptuno on Ana.
See what this rotation comes in. That's one of the things Lucio can give you is this quick speed to find an angle the team's not expecting you on. They're just going to try to take high ground. They take Boombox.
Oh, that's monstrous. Fleta and Munchkin find the duo. Not able to peel for each other. They get wiped out immediately. And Seoul Dynasty should be able to collect this first point rather quickly now.
Where you see Fleta right now is where they initially started poking around with their tanks and they were looking for where people were. Then there was a quick little boost of the speed onto the right-hand side. They got the tanks in position where the focus for the Fusion was elsewhere. Dove onto that back line. There was no one there to help out Boombox or Neptuno. Now Philadelphia is going to have to find a miracle in their bag here to be able to hold on. Seoul is nearing the ultimates. Most importantly, Munchkin's already got his pulse bomb. Carpe on the other side of things. Those ultimates could decide the fate of this next fight.
Ooh, Fraggy. Definitely got to be a little bit careful here. Munchkin's already got his pulse, but he is doing a lot of damage. Softening him up, goes for the stick as well. Does connect, but Fraggy able to leap out of harm's way. Carpe, however, getting dropped down low. Fleta looking for the opportunity, but he gets jumped on by Poco. No Dragon Blade here for Seoul Dynasty.
This might end up being an eco push. That is exactly what will happen now. They do their best to try to get some ultimates out of the other side of things, but the moment you lose Fleta, you know that you can't pop ultimates there. Dragon Blade's so good at closing out. They don't even have to close out. They only need 33% progress on this point to take map number 1. And now we get another dueling DPS ultimates ready. EQO with his Dragon Blade. Impressed the first time we saw him on the Overwatch League stage. Fleta's been doing it forever. A battle of the samurai should commence here shortly.
One strike, quick and clean. EQ, oh yeah, he's just hunting. Trying to find those squishy supports, exactly who he wants to chop to bits. Gonna get caught, however, that's a bit dicey. Oh, under pressure, 9 HP. Oh, and he's not gonna make it out. Fleta with the long-range shuriken. Big opportunity now, especially because the trance has been used. Fleta hasn't even used his Dragon Blade yet. He's gonna get to chop him to bits.
Going for it, he's looking for Neptuno. He initiates with a deflect to make sure that he can't get slept. Fleta will fall down. They've lost Neptuno, though. It's a big source of healing and defense and anti-healing, more importantly, done. They will continue to fall. That is not where you want to be, Poco. Even in Pilot Diva form, he will fall as well.
And now that sets it up. Sound barrier here for Toby. Gets delayed, but he will get it off. And Seoul Dynasty will pick up the first map here versus the Philadelphia Fusion. Remaining undefeated on Volskaya. This is Seoul Dynasty's turf. Get out.
A delayed drop, just style points right there. Just waiting for that base to hit. Finally comes down. Did not need it, though. Very close between these two teams, though. I expected Seoul to do a lot easier on that Volskaya map, but as we continue through the pool, I think that things get a little bit better for Philadelphia. We could be in for 5 today. That's all I have to say for.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. and by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Fresh new stage, new meta, new faces. That is EQO, the man from Israel showing up to play for the Fusion. 3 letters to say his name.
EQO going to work. The man in question making sashimi out of 2 already, and a 3rd, and a 4th. Oh my god, man, this guy, he doesn't care, he just melees you to death, and he's gonna get the follow-up as well. Here we go. EQO, he's going big. Yeah, he spots the low HP target and just sticks them.
EQO puts on a show. What a clever, clever pickup for the Philadelphia Fusion.
Yeah, that's sick. EQO, man. He's got an attitude as well, right? Walks around, he's got a bit of a strut, a bit of a, swagger to him.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? If you don't know who he is, you better ask somebody. He burst onto the scene right away. Someone that, if you really followed Overwatch for a long time, you kind of knew his name a little bit, was on the World Cup team, of course, and that has been a ladder monster, I believe on the European ladder for a very long time.
He's been at the top of it, hasn't he, for a very long time. That's the thing. That's what got him noticed, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of players in the Overwatch League who actually just came up the ladder and just crushed it. You got guys like Dream Casper, and then you got guys like EQO. So if you're good at the game, you can get to the Overwatch League.
It's almost how, that's kind of how it works.
Yeah, you would think, right?
Get good, get money.
It is as simple as that in some aspects of life. Just get good. Just get good. It's not that hard. Just get good.
Yeah, there's just a bit of a grind involved, to stay at the top and have that drive. And while these guys, everybody here competing at the league, they are the best of the best. They've got it. Well, EQO just putting on a show last week. Definitely, well, not last week. Shadowburn was in last week, wasn't he? But when he first came into it, when we first got to see him, he just tore people to bits. There was no way to handle him.
Yeah, when I asked the team about it, I was like, so are you just giving Shadowburn some time off, just mixing things up, making sure that EQO can get in? They're like, no, he's just playing better. I'm like, better than Shadowburn? They're like, yeah, it's just playing better than Shadowburn. And, you know, that's not a knock on Shadowburn. That's just how good EQO has been playing. And Philadelphia does this smart thing, and they're like, just let's put our best players in. Seems simple, right? But a lot of teams have struggled to do just that at certain times. They want to worry about team chemistry and compositions, but Philadelphia says, we got good players. We're going to let them play. It can just be that simple. We are headed to Lijiang Tower here. And EQO, man, what I've been so impressed with is his hero pool. Because I knew coming in that he was like a good tracer and can play a little Genji, but he's really jumped around to a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, we just saw him on Widow there, for example. Like you mentioned, right? Carpe, usually the Widow player. Turns out that now Carpe can really just focus up on that tracer and allow for EQO there to fill the gaps. I mean, hell, EQO is winning duels versus Fleta. Not a whole lot of people can say that.
No, absolutely not. We are going to see a Top Gun Sky battle here as EQO and Fleta will both opt for the Rocket Queen in Pharah over the top. A little bit dangerous to be on that bridge. Concussion can knock everyone off, and see you later, Toby. No, the power of rollerblades compels him.
I got my hopes up there for a second, Hex. I got my hopes up, but it was inevitable. Gravity is always waiting just to mess you up.
See, sometimes you just have to accept your fate there, die and reset. There's no way you're coming back up over the wall. Actually, I've seen several Lucios be able to do it there. Not the case there for Toby. And because of that concussion blast that Seoul decided to kind of ignore, he got knocked off the edge there. I don't know if Zumba didn't have his defense matrix up. It's usually what you want your diva to be doing if you're going to cross that bridge there. And that's a very easy early fight for the Philadelphia Fusion.
Are we feeling good about that? Jaehong's going to be feeling good about getting the pick on Neptuno, though. It could provide a little bit of an opening. Zumba getting demexed is going to slow them down somewhat. But then Jaehong again, another kill. Fraggy is gone. The power of Zenyatta, you can definitely do damage, and you can even kick him in the face. Carpe going for the cheeky stick. Gets a boot instead.
That is the most appropriate response if someone ever tries to throw a grenade at you. Just side to the left and then kick them in the face right there if you are so capable like Jaehong. However, the Rockets have been hitting for EQO and he's just going to be on the point. One of the reasons this point is so good for Pharah is not just the bridge concussions, not just the wide open pillar, but in the middle there, you can be on the point and 100 meters in the sky at the same time. It's a really good vertical point. When he gets a night market, the same is also true.
You watch just doing a very good job of managing his fuel, exactly. All the little details here.
Nothing's going to hit him up there. They don't have any sort of long-range hit scan. He's just going for it right now, or at least juking towards it.
Oh, he's thinking about it. Great punish, though, coming in from Zumba. Jumps on it. Good comms there from Seoul Dynasty to make that pick happen. Poco gonna have to commit the self-destruct. Munchkin backing off with the recall. Right back into the fight if he wants it. But they're doing fantastic work right now, Philadelphia Fusion, as whittling Seoul down. Now it's a matter of actually getting a trade kill. And as I say it, as I praise them, Hex, the curse.
You're fine with this right now, though. You want to get to about 85 to 90% to set yourself up for a one-fight victory to get that percentage back. Seoul has been banking ultimates, though. EQO, I think, was going for the barrage there early on, and then we saw him get punished for it. The last thing you want to do against a Zenyatta, especially Jaehong Zenyatta, is go where he can see you. You want to get sneaking up on Zenyatta. If you're in the air as a barrage, you might as well not even hit Q. Hit Q to respawn at that point.
Keeping an eye on Jaehong and his prioritization with his orbs as well. But that's the perfect spot to be hanging out as Zen. Nice long lines to go for the volleys, to go for the picks, and you do a lot of damage as well, even if you want to get in on those tanks. And, oh, they're trading sides, apparently. Philadelphia decided to check out the map that belonged to Seoul previously. Still does. They will get forced down after the sound barrier gets committed. Philadelphia decided to back off and give a little ground, and there we go, Fleta. The patience. Only the 1-for-1, though, but Munchkin's there to get the DMAC on Poco.
Able to get that 1-for-1. We do see Pharah without mercies on both sides, so there is no resurrection necessarily available. Now they flip it over into that fight. Seoul Dynasty has taken out the people that they needed to there. Philadelphia got on the point a little too early, which almost worked out for them because they did force a sound barrier out of the Seoul Dynasty. But then they got pushed back into the corner. You don't want to be in a corner against a barrage. Fleta is off of the Pharah EQO as well. They will go for the 76 and the Genji respectively.
Yeah, interesting decision here. We'll see how it matches up as Carpe is going to be able to win that duel versus Toby. Gets that clip with the help of his team. Munchkin looking for his angle. He wants to go and drop Boombox. Drop, nearly gets him so close. Eventually collects the kill. Perfectly done there by Munchkin to bring it back. Fraggy gonna have to back off, give ground, and Poco doing the best that he can here to challenge on the point, and it looks like they're gonna be able to make it. Never mind! Munchkin with the blink, last second. keeps his team in contention and keeps them getting percentage on point.
There's so many great things that Munchkin did there as the Tracer, going on that razor's edge to make sure you finish this Zenyatta. He doesn't get that kill. It could be entirely different. And then a completely different part of his kit that does not involve bullets at all. The mobility and the ability to touch and stall out points. Soul and Firm Control have already dropped Boombox in this fight as well. And here comes a closeout visor.
Exactly, he's looking for one. There it is. Does manage to spot out EQO. EQO, however, is going to cut Toby in half before Fleta can do anything about it. The DMAC would be great. Yes, Poco is gone. Follow-up kill there for Fleta. Carpe trying to get in here, trying to drop this monster, but it's just not meant to be. He will devour you with the help of his team.
Helix there to take down Boombox. Boombox, of course, on that Moira. You gotta have burst damage to deal with that. Helix to the toes right there. I like that Fleta didn't leave the point there because people were dying around him. And if he goes out there, then he's exposing himself to the Genji that's out there cutting up his team. And he would rather just watch the door that the Genji's inevitably gonna have to come through anyway. So he's sitting on there, making sure that they're unable to flip it back over. Deals with the Diva who comes onto the point, but as a Soldier 76, if you got your back against the wall and you only have to deal with 180 degrees of coverage, you're much happier than trying to spin in circles. Like, you can't double jump. That's Genji's realm. So use the angles properly.
Some could say, you know, he's almost like a mobster. Never turns his back to the wall. You all know what happened. Sit in the middle of the room, ends poorly for you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, you start sitting in a diner booth and then Journey starts playing and that's the end of the series.
That's the end of the series. It's all over. Well, Fleta, we'll see if he can make it happen again here. This is a bit more of the Tracer map. Obviously, EQO, however, will be able to get Miro. Miro can get aggressive at times as well. He does usually get the support from his team. He just overextends a little bit too far that time around and gets punished for it.
Is very likely just going to be poke. I doubt you'll see Soul engage without their main tank to be able to create the space for him. Now they're going to poke around. Now they're going to have the respawns up. They don't want to give this up for free, but they do just that a little bit too late to get on there.
Zumba. Yeah, there we go. Munchkin is going to be able to come, well, help out. Zumba calling a low target. Munchkin's there to capitalize. Munchkin hunting down Fraggy as well. Munchkin finds Fraggy and Miro there with the DMAC on Poco. They're getting picked off one after another here. Philadelphia Fusion, it's not looking too hot for him.
I think I've seen the silver back of Fraggy more than I've seen his front. He is retreating oftentimes, and I don't think that's a successful formula for the Philly Fusion. They are best when they play around Fraggy. You can't retrain a trained Winston right there. He only knows aggression, only knows forward. He's backing out, and a lot of times he backs out into death as well.
Ah, nice attempt there. Munchkin lay in the trap. Sometimes they do get out of it though. Just hanging out, and he's actually doing a bit of damage here, just slowing things up, making it more difficult. He finds the kill on Neptuno. Doesn't matter if he's got people in front of him. The man knows how to get the job done. And Fleta, in the meantime, will find Fraggy. They're making very good progress now on this point. Seoul Dynasty, they've pulled ahead, taken the lead, and they are up 1-0 in points. They only need this one here to collect the second map.
They've done a great job of holding on to their ultimates. That stray pulse bomb notwithstanding. Philadelphia is getting very close as well to nearly every ultimate there. So at this stage of the game, when everyone has every ability, it's down to execution. Someone gonna pulse bomb. Really nice pressure on the point here, but that does leave your team down a huge source of damage.
Exactly. We've seen it in the past in Seoul Dynasty. Instead of just rushing back to the point, we're like, okay, let's win the fight out here, and then we'll just go ahead and take the point back at our leisure. No issues at all.
It works against teams that get rattled or spooked a little bit of like, hey, someone's got to go back. But Seoul is so patient, they probably wouldn't even care if they give up that point there because they're going to win the fight and just take it back again. They'll give you the 10% that you might get by the capture there. But so patient, they know that you being on the point means that they have an advantage that they didn't even know about.
Exactly right. They've still got 6 players in the fight. Guess what? All right, Fleta, he's got them all in the hallway right now. Kind of curious to see if he was going to be able to find the angle for that Dragon Blade. Instead, he gets pushed back. And it looked like Carpe wasn't able to capitalize on it either, but they are coming back together here as a unit. Philadelphia Fusion, they still have the Dragon Blade of their own, a couple of ults to play with. Neptuno with the sound barrier, though. He is going to be key. He needs to get everybody in his line of sight so he can protect them.
Philadelphia had to burn a Transcendent just to get into a position to be able to fight, not the position you want to be in. Double support ultimates are up for Soul as well.
There it is. And Fleta now, he knows that if he's just patient, waits for the Dragon Blade, they've got no way to stop him. And he's just calmly walking back, and there it is, spots it out. EQO gets it as well. EQO is dead, and everybody gone for Philadelphia Fusion. A very solid performance here from Seoul Dynasty at the beginning of this series, up 2-0 in maps. just like that.
Philadelphia needs to go back to what got them here, which is unbridled aggression diving in, but Seoul is doing such a good job of punishing the first part of the dive, which is Fraggy. He is the tip of the spear, and he has been blunted.
Just a matter now. Always possible. We've already had a reverse sweep from Philly once. Let's see if they can deliver again.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC display of the Overwatch League. Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. And by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network.
Seoul Dynasty take a 2-0 into the half after taking both Volskaya Industries and Lijiang Tower, winning Lijiang 2-0. Welcome back, everyone, to the desk. Golden Boy here alongside with Reinforce and Crumbs as we break down the first two games here. And you seem just so smug, so happy with yourself.
No, what do you mean?
when just you know, you didn't have it on film, obviously, unless they were filming.
Unlike Bren.
But when Volskaya happened and they won, you actually raised your hands as if you were on the stage there with them.
No, heresy.
Where is the fair and honest journalism here?
Well, I'm just sticking to my knowledge and brain.
Okay,
over the heart, over bias.
That big Swedish brain.
Yes, big brains going on. They're worse like that.
What is going on here? Okay, but you know, granted, Seoul Dynasty, they are looking.
They're looking good.
They're killing
They're
it.
looking really good. Yeah, absolutely. I think we're just a bit shocked by how good the fundamentals are coming out from Seoul Dynasty. The way they use their support ultimates and rotate them properly. The way they peel with the defense matrix. And the way Miro punishes the back line with his sleeps. I think the fundamentals for Seoul Dynasty are so good in this game.
On top of that, the second that one of their key members gets picked up, they're just like, you know what? Pull out right away. This push is not going to work. We'll try again. They're going for the eco pushes to make sure they have more ultimates. So they're just basically farming their ultimates before they make one of these big pushes that we know that they do. They just pile on ultimates and then win fights because they have an advantage that way. And they're just a masterclass here for Philadelphia. They need to take notes of what Seoul is doing and apply it themselves.
This is Lunatic High turning up for this game. You know, the experience really shows.
Yeah, and for those of you guys who may be joining us for the first time, I mean, this is the squad formerly known as Lunatic High, competed in Apex, one of the most dominant teams in that region, and they're looking to do the same thing here. And so far in Stage 2, it has been all Dynasty all day. But I need some insights here.
Yeah.
I need some insights
I
powered by
need
Intel.
to ask the crowd a question.
There you go.
Does anyone miss Mercy?
Does anyone
that's
miss
what I thought.
Mercy?
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Yeah.
I don't
but
know
we're
if
going
they
to
heard
point
you.
out a Mercy play regardless. We're going to see Toby on the Mercy, and he's going to actually save Rija Hong as Carpe comes in for a dive onto Rija Hong. And that's pretty cool, you know? So we're going to see how that plays out. He's going to use his Angel, of course, his wings, and fly over and save Rija Hong from dying from Carpe here. And he's going to take a lot of damage coming in from Poco. So he's about half health now. Rija Hong stays alive, but he's going to get out. Both of the supports get out alive. But now he's stuck with EQO in his face, as we see here with Munchkin, Toby, and EQO. But Toby is actually going to dodge the punch coming in as EQO charges it up. So he dodges it perfectly, right?
Whiffed it.
Yep, he completely whiffed it. Or Toby dodges it. That's my narrative now, Voldemort. Please, please. And then he's going to fly up here and actually save the backline of Seoul Dynasty with EQO diving here. And that's just amazing. Fleda is so low, but Toby manages to keep him alive with the beam. And as such, Philadelphia, of course, get just dismantled. I mean, they could have capped the point here, but amazing play coming out from Toby here, I think, from the Seoul Dynasty, of course, to just save the entire round, in my opinion.
Yeah. Look at what happened there. Jae Hong actually was kept alive long enough that he won Carpe.
He even beat Carpe, yeah. He killed the Tracer just because he was kept alive by Toby. So amazing play. I forgot to point that out, of course, but amazing play coming out of Toby on the Mercy, which is pretty rare.
Yeah. I'm glad that you highlight that. You know, like it's pretty rare to see that.
It was a cool play.
No, I mean,
we all miss
to
the
avoid
Mercy,
that,
right?
to avoid that, though, is, yeah, I'm sure we all do.
Yeah.
To avoid that, that big punch from Doomfist, and we saw the impact that Doomfist would have yesterday as well, right?
Yeah.
You know, like just punching around, hydration, shredding through everyone on the on LA Gladiators. But yeah, but then the storyline going into this was EQO. All right, he's back. Let's see what this young man can do. He takes the stage here against one of the best in the game in Seoul Dynasty, and it's a kind of a EQO Fleta matchup here that happened early on in Volskaya, and so far Fleta's been getting the better of him.
It was pretty sweet. I mean, Fleta got his first ultimate in 50 seconds in the game. It was actually 47 on the Widowmaker, which was just ridiculous. But Philly displayed a lot of patience. However, I think what came down to the defining factor was the ultimate usage that Philadelphia had. It just was not as good as what Seoul was doing. A lot of times they were using ultimates to try to save players that were already dead, so the timing was off. They're using ultimates when there was just no need to use it, especially in the support category, whereas you have Jae Hong flexing over to the Sombra and just killing it, stalling so much time. So the supports, I think, from Seoul are just doing a much better job. However, Philly has been in this position before. They've been down 0-2 against Houston just last week. This isn't going to be a big deal.
Oh, so you're going for the reverse sweep?
No, I'm just saying, don't count them out.
I'm just
don't sleep on them. Don't sleep on Philly.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on Seoul. That's what I said. And look where we are now.
No one's sleeping on Seoul. We know they're gods.
Well, I do feel like though we have been a little.
How much more can we praise them?
It's true. There's been a lot. I mean, throughout all of competitive Overwatch, me being at the World Cup, it was always South Korea, South Korea, South Korea, best team in all of the World Cup. And you come over here in Seoul Dynasty, best team in the game. I even think like people were saying when they announced their squad, oh, you're Overwatch League Season 1 champions, Seoul Dynasty, right?
Pretty much, yes. But they had dropped some maps, right? Throughout Stage 2. They have dropped some maps to teams who didn't necessarily expect them to lose maps to. So perhaps there is some inconsistency issues. But I think that Seoul Dynasty is just a team that plays up to their opponent. So when they go up against the Philadelphia Fusion, later when they go up against New York or London, whoever they need to beat, I think they're going to raise the level accordingly and actually prove to us that they are a potential champion coming into Stage 2 playoffs.
Well, I think you have to remember what Zoe brought up, that they decided for this week to split up the squads, which I think is having a much bigger influence than I would have expected, because they seem very refined right now when they play against Philly, just very calculated, not making a lot of rash decisions, which is paying off big time, whereas Philly probably didn't have that level of practice. It showed when they faced off against London last time. So I think the fact that they're dividing the teams is almost like the idea that London wanted to do before, which is 2 teams that you can split off and send one guys versus a certain kind of team and then the other ones against another one.
Yeah, and overall, I think the theme there is you just level up everyone all together, right?
Yep.
And that was kind of what we saw happen with London, and you know, Seoul Dynasty looking to kind of take that same blueprint and apply it in their own way. And so far, so good for the Black and Gold, as they're currently up 2-0 against the Philadelphia Fusion. But the question remains, can Philly bring it back? They were able to do it against Houston. Can they do it against Seoul? Kings Row is going to be coming up next, guys. Don't go anywhere. Plenty more Overwatch action after the break.
Brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
The Outlaws.
In Stage 2, Week 2, Houston was 1 map away from defeating Philadelphia. Before the second point of Hollywood, the Fusion looked to hold their ground.
So now, time ticking a little bit.
In overtime, Shadowburn's Genji and Fraggy's Winston were taken out, but as Cool Matt was self-destructing on the payload, Carpe saw an opportunity to end the Outlaws' push.
Carpe sneaking up. Pulse bomb there.
Both of Houston's supports were hiding from Poco's ult in the county jail, and the Fusion's Tracer took advantage.
He has to use it now. He purposely died for the self-destruct himself, and Carpe! He found himself both supports with the pulse bomb.
Without any healing for the Outlaws, Philadelphia held and later won the match in an instant Overwatch League Classic.
Once again, the Philadelphia Fusion reverse sweep the Houston Outlaws.
That right there was the turning point where Carpe and the Philadelphia Fusion turned a sour moment into something sweet. Presented by Sour Patch Kids Candy.
Woo! That was a close one so far. Welcome back, guys. I'm Aaron Stevie, and it's great to be here as always. We've got some awesome Dynasty fans in here as they're dominating. How many Dynasty fans do we have in here? Yeah! They're always a good crowd. Show up in awesome numbers, too. All right, let's throw it over to the second half and see if they can come back. Up to you guys, casters.
Let's do it. Thank you, Aaron, and welcome, of course, part of the team now. But yeah, Hex, just, you know, getting the engine flowing again here, getting the blood pumping, because, I mean, we do still have 2 maps in this series, and we have seen magical things from Philadelphia Fusion in the past.
Yeah, it's very possible they could pull off the reverse sweep. Of course, we saw in that turning point moment. I don't know who was talking about that turning point moment. Sounded really intelligent and handsome. Guy I'd like to meet sometime in life.
Yeah, he's a real superstar. Yeah.
Philadelphia has to bring it back here. We are headed into Kings Row, which is not great for them. And despite what happened to the Seoul Dynasty yesterday on Kings Row, being full held by the Shanghai Dragons, this is one of their favorite maps, and that's a different squad played yesterday for Seoul than are going to play today. And Philadelphia, they've relied on the dive to get here. It's kind of their staple style of play. Not the greatest of maps for it, but I'm not sure what else they have in their kit to go for it. You know, can you run a triple tank, which is so popular on Kings?
This is what I like to see, though, Hex. Situations that we don't know. We're going on an adventure. That's how you have to see it. Adventures, you don't know what's going to happen, right? You can plan for it, you can speculate, you can think about it a lot, but when you're actually in the mix, it's all a mystery. We're all going to get to learn together.
The adventure in foggy London town here.
I was thinking in Philadelphia, but at the same time, that works too.
Philadelphia, a little better weather. Definitely better food. No cheesesteaks in London.
No, exactly. I mean, well, they need to, well, no food in London. That being said, but
there is some food. It's just not good.
It's the UK, man. It's the UK. If you've been to London,
they're still living that Oliver Twist life, where it's just cruel.
If everybody's just like, you know, the highlight of London cooking is a cheeky Nando's, it's pretty grim. It's pretty grim, guys. Just throwing that out there.
Seoul Dynasty's defense is setting up. No surprise that we will see Fleta on the Widowmaker. So good at that hero. And the rest of it is pretty typical as well. It's somewhat of a dive defense here, going to probably hide outside the sight lines, let Fleta do his work. Probably just try to protect Fleta as best as possible here. The other side of things, don't get too excited for the Hanzo. He's probably just going to send out a Sonic Arrow, get the scouting information his team needs. However, Hanzo can be good on Kings. Not against a Widow necessarily. Even though Philadelphia has a Widow on their squad, it's not going to be Fraggy.
What do you mean? It could be Fraggy. Fraggy, he could have that aggressive Widow. Gets in there. But it's not going to happen. Instead, it will be the triple tank roster running it. Carpe. Is he going to stick on the Hanzo? No, he's still hanging around in spawn, so he will be swapping momentarily, it seems.
He was going to go to the Widow. Hanzo v Widow is just a matchup that's not very good for you on the Hanzo. So they're going to go triple tank on the ground. We'll see what Ikio's Roadhog can do here. Now they're just getting kind of tickled back by the Winston. Wait for their moment to really just put the meat on the point and put the onus onto Seoul.
Yes, it's going to be on Fraggy, and Fraggy, he is an aggressive Reinhardt. He is going to be in his element if things get chaotic. Definitely hoping for that to happen. As his shield gets worn down, he might start to think it's time to get in here, trying to look for a fight. EQO struggling to hit these hooks. Unfortunately for him, that would really turn things around if he could manage to connect with one of them at least.
Roadhog is so good against other tanks, but they're playing so smart. They're not getting hit by hooks, obviously, but they're playing around sightlines, playing behind the phone booth as well. But now, at the moment he sneaks out of there and get hooked. Still no progress, though, for Philadelphia.
A little bit, as Fraggy once again steps his toe onto the point, sets up that hard point defense going behind the shield for his team. In the meantime, they're just darting all over the place, Seoul Dynasty, and Poco getting whittled down. There's the Coalescence getting thrown into the mix here by Boombox, not holding it back. And we will have Toby launching himself into the fight, nearly getting on that Valkyrie, but he gets caught. Carpe, the big kill that can turn things around here for Philadelphia Fusion.
Missing hooks early on was EQO, but he was able to take down the Tracer on the other side of things. Then Carpe was able to come into the mix as well, take down his opposing number, and Fleta on the other side of things with no DPS in that fight. Philly was able to easily take it over. And here's Carpe looking for those heads.
That's nice. Carpe, you know, he's aware. He knows what's up. Big fans of tea in London. Just wanted to go ahead and deliver some.
It's a nice little grapple shot over the top there. It's so hard to predict and prepare for that as the opposing Widow. Carpe is going to take the angle here. Force out the Primal Rage on the other side of things as Miro decides to get angry there. Jaehong down as well. A lot of free push happening for Philly.
They are making progress. Bit of an early fight here, Seoul Dynasty, or at least they were hoping for it, but it's looking like there is going to be a bit of progress made for Philadelphia Fusion, who are currently sitting on 4 ultimates, soon to be 5 with Boombox.
Carpe.
Yeah, not quite, not quite. That was cutting it a bit fine there for Munchkin.
That sixth sense there knows exactly that that Tracer is going to be going after him. He can't leave a Widow uncontested up top, but now as the cart reaches a bend, the sightlines are not going to be the same. Fraggy looking to set up a shatter here.
Yeah, he's looking for it, and there's the self-destruct. He is he going to be able to get out of harm's way? It looks like it. Fraggy able to dart back around. None of his teammates going boom either. Boombox with the Coalescence Lighthouse shining bright, leading the way, showing it as well. And Fraggy getting melted! Zumba, target damage from on high. And Seoul Dynasty looking like they were going to be able to settle this fight.
Fraggy out of the mix. We're going to have to wait to see if he can set up that shatter. I think you can use Neptuno to boost him in and get a good shatter, but you can't stagger kills like this. Now they have to wait. There's no good pressure there. A hook kill, of all things, on a Miro that's going to force out a Transcend.
This is where they're finally going to commit into it. All the ultimates are going to come out here for Seoul Dynasty. Fleta will find the kill on Neptuno and on Poco. In the meantime, EQO going whole hog, but not really getting too much out of it. Unfortunately for him, wasn't able to save his teammates.
Oh, the whole hog was designed to be the anti-blade there. Blade relies so much on mobility that if you can change the trajectory of some of those dashes, then you can really stifle a blade. But Fleta was able to find the targets he was looking for, and now the push will continue. They're just waiting to set up. Here comes the dive.
Yeah, counter dive right into the back line. Miro doing some work right there, trying to zap him, trying to tase him, trying to find an opening, but instead Seoul Dynasty playing it safe. They get into the back. They're going to force out some cooldowns here. Boombox once again with the Coalescence. Not quite with the kills, however, Zumba able to get out of harm's way, at least for now. He is getting topped up once again by Toby.
Miro able to stay alive in that dive was astonishing. He was 1v5 back there. He got some help from his Diva as well, able to eat up all those bullets headed his way. Stalled out here on the point. Self-destruct is ready for Zumba. Nowhere near needing it right now. They force out a barrier. A sleeping Neptuno. That's not the alarm clock you want to wake up to.
Yeah, tough one there. Hard to get that kill. That one shot. Self-destruct committed. Zumba going to be able to get the remake right in his face. How frustrating. EQO not able to deny it. And Fleta once again with the blade, but he decides to hold on to it a little while longer here. Needs to fall back, let his teammates catch up to him because Toby's got a bit of a long walk ahead of him. He needs to get back here as quick as possible though because his team are about to take the fight.
Nice hook mid-air will take down Fleta. He's out of the mix now with his blade back in spawn. They're going to try to bring it back with a pulse bomb. That does not find what they're looking for either. Self-destruct goes down onto the cart, answered with a Transcend.
Yeah, one more stick, no, Munchkin. Wow, that's not Munchkin. Carpe gonna whip it. Munchkin still in this fight, although it is getting a bit dicey for him. Boombox not gonna be able to collect that kill with the recall. Munchkin stays alive. And Munchkin in the back line now could make this a little uncomfortable here for Philadelphia Fusion. He's getting into the healers, really trying to pull them back. Boombox has to fade out of harm's way.
Self-destruct and EQO is just gonna chuck right in his face. Here comes the blade and there goes the blade. EQO, no one has equal so far. Hits another beautiful hook onto Fleta.
And they are just going to make it 2.5 minutes here to get this third point on lock for Philly Fusion. And EQO, yeah, he started a bit cold there with the hooks, but he's definitely started to hit some big ones here.
He's definitely warmed up, and when you have a hero pool as deep as EQO, sometimes you need a little bit to warm up. Their mechanics are vastly different in all the different heroes that he plays, so now he understands the timing of the projectile, the hook. It's gonna hit it. Zumba has moved over to a Zarya. They've also added a Reaper into the mix as the map collapses and gets a little tighter on this last push.
Yeah, that's exactly that. Reaper can really melt shields. Fraggy finding that out. He is gonna get barriered, he is gonna get backing off. Poco getting a little bit of energy, and the shield is up to negate the Earth Shatter, but that doesn't matter when Poco and Boombox are going to work.
Completely denied. Fraggy's gonna take a nap, but not the dirt nap. Just gonna be pushed a little bit by the car. A little help there from the payload as Poco has gone to his own Zarya, melts down 2. Not a whole lot for Seoul to be able to fall back on here. They need a pulse bomb. Munchkin's got it.
Oh, is he gonna get it? No, nothing out of it, and they are gonna be able to get back into this fight. Zumba getting focused down. Excellent work. Poco has been at full charge ever since he switched over to this Zarya. He is doing so much damage. Might as well be a Trip DPS lineup here. Just rolling over them.
You saw right there, they switched into the Reaper. That's potentially to counter not only the shields of Fraggy's, a stationary target and easy to deal with, but EQ's Roadhog came alive. And one of the best answers to Roadhog is going to be the Reaper. Big target right there, able to really chunk down tanks. We'll see what Philly was thinking there.
Okay, behind you. I got Widow. Nice one. Watch out, play together. Mercy, don't let Mercy rest. Mercy, top point. Nice one. Zen behind you. Zen. Body blocking, kill him! Delay.
Poco doing a great job there, you know, calling out the focus targets.
Yeah, definitely enjoying themselves there. A little bit more in-depth strategy happening. I like what they call don't let the Mercy res, and that's all on your Widow right there, especially if she's out in the sight lines. If you're a Widow and the Mercy just sits there and reses in your face, then you miss a shot on a stationary target. Just surprisingly difficult because you're used to flick shots, and then when someone's just standing there, sometimes little nerves get to you. You try to flick and you miss it there, but denying the resurrection was huge there. It's a good call from them. Able to finish out Kings Row. They have to win this map to keep their chances alive. And if they win Kings Row, we're going to a map that they've had success on in the past, in Gibraltar. So Philadelphia not quite out of this yet. They've done their part on the offense. Now it's up to their defense to hold Seoul.
You know, this is where they're putting Seoul on notice. You can't get complacent, Seoul. If you start letting your foot off the gas, Philadelphia Fusion are definitely going to be there to flatten your tires.
Interesting that the defense running the exact same thing they were on offense here. Fleta right now on the Pharah. Going to be difficult for him to get a ton of work done with Carpe on the Widowmaker. But if they can work in tandem and kill Carpe, then no one's going to be able to touch Fleta.
Yeah, you can see Carpe already having to really fall back, try to play from the window, trying to play to cut off that angle so that he doesn't just take rockets to the face. Never a pleasant experience. Miro going in deep, though, is going to try and destabilize his defense, force them to close that angle a little bit more, and that gives Munchkin a little bit more room to work with here. Very bold.
This works so well together because they have to fight in the back corner because of the Widow here. That really cuts the angles in half, and then the Pharah can come up over top. It forces the other Widow to rotate to the side window and not going to have the angles there. This is free damage for Fleta right now.
This is exactly Fleta getting to do exactly what he wants when they're all grouped up as well. Those rockets are really going to get that splash damage in with the AoE. And so, Philadelphia Fusion still hanging in there, not quite finding that kill to start things for Seoul Dynasty to really get them that progress on the point. Although Miro will be able to back out intact, and we have the barrage. And now this is really where it gets important.
It's just a matter of finding the Widow to make sure you're not going to barrage in those sight lines now. He's got himself a really good angle. A rocket's going to knock Fraggy off. Of course, there's the barrage. Finds himself two. Carpe makes him pay for it, but that's a trade you take.
The damage is done. That's all he was looking for. Munchkin with the inner sight as well. Gonna get that follow-up, and there it is. The headshot on Neptuno. The point was already lost, but, you know, it's always good. Get the stats.
It works so well together because Carpe can't sit where he wants to sit in the middle window and deny the Pharah. He's got to rotate to the other window that opens things up for Carpe. Pick your poison here. Which one are you going to try to shut down with the Widow, because you can't do both?
There it is. Wow, Munchkin really going for the big plays. Bit of a risky peek. He does manage to get out of there intact, however, and now looking to just support straight line. Take advantage of his tanks in the space that they're creating, perhaps, and on high now. Not quite going to find it, though. Miro looking to get him out in the open, and he does. There's an opportunity here for Munchkin to hit some shots. He only connects with the body, though, and that's not going to be good enough. Miro feeling the primal rage, fury coursing through his veins, looking to drop right into the back, but instead manages to back off just in time. Toby going to be able to top him back up.
A little bit of roof surfing got him back into where he needed to be. There is going to be a self-destruct. The bubble does come down. Everyone is out of harm's way as battle continues. Fleta low. That's not where Reaper wants to be at low HP. Able to back off. They know exactly where the healing is at all times. As Seoul team, if you don't finish them, they're going to be back to full health soon.
Ooh, well, quite a bit thrown into the mix here. Jaehong commits the trans, hoping to turn the tide. Zumba's dropping dangerously low. EQO hits yet another fantastic hook. Not going to throw Fleta back into the sea. Definitely holding on to that one. And Neptuno does manage to find the kill on Miro. Things are definitely looking up here for Philadelphia Fusion. They just need to deal with Munchkin. Well, double headshot to the face. Even a beefy tank can't handle that kind of hurt.
Well, with Carpe out of the mix, Munchkin felt very safe to be able to do whatever he wanted there on the Widowmaker. And and now they're waiting to see if someone wants to peek out. There is an opportunity to take a very off angle here, far left as the Widow, but you can be punished for it, so they want to wait for tank support. Now it does look like he wants to go for it. I love this aggressive play.
Is Carpe going to check for it, though? That's going to be the big question. And there was a chance, but it's not Carpe to spot him, it's Neptuno chasing Munchkin back. Great awareness from the support.
It's an underrated part of what Lucio's can do because they have that enhanced speed. They can check out areas where other heroes are out of position. If they do so, Lucio's able to get back in the mix. Blossom incoming, takes down 3!
Oh, it doesn't get much better than that. Textbook stuff from Fleta. Break the Rhine shield, and then there's nothing stopping you from shredding everything in sight. And so, Seoul Dynasty picking up that second point in very good time. 4 minutes in the bank here for them to push forward and collect a third and tie things up.
It's going to be such a good point for a Reaper too, but Fleta's going to go onto the road, or sorry, Junkrat instead. Junkrat's now actually on both sides as EQO will also take up the mantle. That one kill though will push them all the way back, and you don't want to fight there. Defensive Widow setups on Kings are brutal.
Well, that's an interesting self-destruct.
He's going to Zarya.
He's going to go and change it up.
He's got to.
So, and we already have EQO changing it up for Junkrat as well. Shields will be melted.
Well, the Zarya is also a good response to this though too, because it's all that free charge. You can't control your damage as Junkrat. It's fire and forget it. So Zarya is going to use shields on her allies and herself to charge up that beam and do so much more damage.
Eyes on Fraggy's shield, trying to hold on to it as long as possible here. He is the barrier, he is the bulwark standing between his team, and the enemy's best is up his charge, so it gets moved into the wall. And now, well, the sound barrier has come out here for Philadelphia Fusion. Neptuno committing his ultimate. Boombox gonna get closer to that trance, but not fast enough. And Fraggy dropping dangerously low. His teammates doing the best they can to keep him alive. But here we go, Fleta with the tire on the angle, looking for the squishy. He's gonna come over the top, and that is gonna be perfect. Never mind. They dodge at the last second, but they're out in the open, and Munchkin capitalizes.
Saved by the boxes of everything. Zumba is about to hit his Graviton, 96% as they close out ultimate. You can toss it in the corner and deny reinforcements. Once he lives through this self-destruct, we should see the grab come out. Zumba's so low right now. He goes to spawn with his grab. The rest of his team was already backing out.
And EQO finds that delayed kill on Miro. Carpe with the stagger on Munchkin. And while Fleta will be able to get the revenge kill, Carpe out of it, but they are still having to play this fairly patiently, Seoul Dynasty. They have to wait for their tanks to get back in position, and Fraggy, he's got the Earth Shatter.
These kills were so important for Philadelphia late, so give themselves time to reset up the composition that they're switching to. Want to get Poco out here, hopefully gain some free charge. Soul playing it smart though, not sending any errant fire around corners to make sure that Poco is rather ineffective. Zarya doesn't do a whole lot at 0% charge.
Yeah. You definitely needed those barriers. Exactly, look at that. 40 energy now for Zumba. He's gonna be feeling good about that. He's got his barrier as well, can continue to charge it up. 76, now the Hurt's gonna come in. There's the grab right into the corner. 3 quick kills for Seoul Dynasty, make it 4. Fleta with the mines, obliterating EQO and Fraggy both, and now things get a bit dicey here for Philadelphia Fusion. They're dancing around the corner, but they're not gonna make it in time. Boombox will get caught in the end by Miro's Earth Shatter, but round 2 is complete, and we're tied up 3-3.
Really using the angle and the architecture of the map to assist in that Graviton positioning. There was no diva on the field, so you didn't have to worry about it getting gobbled up or anything, but by putting them in the corner, it allows you to do all the damage you want to them behind cover of that building. If you do it 3 feet to the left, they're in the middle, and maybe someone has to take an awkward angle and gets picked off during that. A Graviton should be an ultimate where you get kills and they do not, and it really flips the fight in your favor. It's one of the best ultimates, if not the best ultimate in the game. That's why he sticks it on the wall there instead of going for a bigger grab. Making sure that 2 die instead of maybe getting 3 is definitely the smarter decision.
It's also the most satisfying. Let's just put it that way, you know? Best ult, that's cool. Satisfying ult, yes. When you hit 4 and you're just pummeling them, like there's nowhere to go, there's no way for them to get out.
It's also really important to change onto that with enough time left. It's kind of unpredictable what your charge is going to be. How is the other team going to play around you? Without a charge and doing the damage with your weapon, then you're not going to get Graviton on your weapon. So you can almost guarantee it if you switch at 4 minutes or 3 minutes. 2 can be cutting it a little close, but the best Zaryas in the world are always able to get to that grab. So if you feel you need a Graviton to win a map or a fight, you have to switch before 2 minutes.
Well, we already have these rosters. We're starting to get a little bit used to it. Carpe again with the Sonic Arrow. Don't expect to see him sticking. He will be switching over to the Widow. So similar strategies. Although, as I say that, Carpe goes for the Tracer instead. So we will have no sniper in play here for Philadelphia Fusion. And Seoul Dynasty, Fleta and Munchkin both on their flankers.
Yeah, I believe Carpe might have seen that there was no Widow on the other side of things. That's why he feels very comfortable not running his own. Widow is going to go to Tracer instead to be able to help put some pressure on these tanks and Fleta himself. EQO the big hook. That is 2 quick tank kills. That's what Roadhog does.
Yeah, he's warmed up now. Kind of whipped his hook there. Put it into a tree. That's definitely not what he wants to be catching.
You can't blame EQO for missing that hook, though, because he's so young, he has no idea what a phone booth is. He's just kind of confused that it's even there, so he's just going to try to throw his hook at it. He's like, what do you mean hooks don't go through phone booth? So they are going to get that rather quickly, and now 30 seconds left. It takes about 30 seconds for that door to open, so we're going to be having an overtime pusher deleted. Carpe finds Jaehong. They had no idea he was there.
Sick play from Carpe. That's right. See ya, Jaehong. Getting put on notice here, Seoul Dynasty.
Still lurking back here, using the modicum of cover.
Oh, buddy, now you got to get out of here. You got to, exactly, back off, let your healers top you up. And well, he will be running into Munchkin as well. Both flanks now getting watched here for Seoul Dynasty, and so it's going to be a bit tough here for Carpe to catch him sleeping.
Yeah, Munchkin does not want to take this fight. Not with Carpe having pack control like that. Tracer v Tracer is all about who controls the health pack and the recalls there. Carpe with superior positioning. Now he's got another bomb. Jam doesn't see him.
Oh, and he does not get the stick either. Jaehong, you can see, manages to survive just a little bit longer, but Carpe will win that fight eventually, whittles him down. Carpe is eviscerating the back line right now, doing so much work and allowing EQO to press forward and find the kill on Toby. Nothing but white in the kill feed here. Philadelphia Fusion making excellent progress.
Beautiful individual play from Carpe. He has been the anvil to Fraggy's hammer. Not only does he take Jaehong down back there, but they notice that. They have to move forward into the waiting arms of the rest of his team. He's herding them into the danger zone right there. They're able to get second point rather easily. More importantly, they have banked ultimates to continue this push. They've got a shatter, they've got a self-destruct, they've got barrier to work with as well. Whole Hog can be surprisingly good. There are places to knock people off on this last point of Kings.
Yet again, Carpe winning this fight. Tracer v Tracer. Munchkin gonna get his orb. Carpe managing to back off though and get top back up again. Back control so key, and he may be able to catch Munchkin looking the wrong way. Yes, sure enough he does. Zobo with the self-destruct kill on EQO though will make things difficult here for Philadelphia Fusion. This might be where it all ends as far as this payload's concerned. Caught in the bend. Jaehong with the trance to continue to push forward, set it up for his team, and the self-destruct not gonna happen. Well, never mind. It does get the kill on Fleta. How does Fleta get kicked?
Just one, and now it is only Boombox, but he will get pulse bombed on the point. That is where the payload will end. You gotta give it up to Carpe there at the very last second, even as that push was falling apart. We talked about the pack control very early when they're out on second point. Then he had pack control on the right-hand side. The thing we didn't see there is towards the end when that fight was still happening, he blinked past him to take that third room in pack control as well. Really prioritizing it. Had that fight gone on longer, he was the one who was taking the closer pack every single time. It's such an important part of those Tracer duels. And now, Seoul with their work cut out for them. That is a long push, only 1 minute and 44 seconds to match or exceed that mark.
We might see Philly, the glimmer of hope here. We've seen the reverse sweep from Philly recently. They managed to pull it off. They are definitely capable of upsetting versus Seoul Dynasty.
Philly, a town with a sports culture that loves an underdog. Every Philadelphia team is an underdog going into everything. The movie Rocky, of course, all about the underdog.
There you go.
And that is, kind of the culture of that city. No one expects us to win. I think they sold out of Amazon dog masks because they're all wearing underdog masks for the Super Bowl. So they definitely embrace the culture that no one believes they can win. The Fusion, no different than that. So still here, if they win this, we go to Gibraltar. They win Gibraltar, we're going to a fifth map. Philadelphia, if nothing else, gives us great series.
Always entertaining, always fun to watch. And EQO's warmed up now as well, hitting hooks left and right. That really proved to be difficult for Seoul to handle. And so we saw how effective this kind of strategy was for Seoul Dynasty on their first attack, but it took a lot of time to set up. They weren't able to just swiftly get into the point and overwhelm the defense. And once again, EQO hitting hooks, but this time he's denied.
Fleta still, they pushed them in the corner. That's why this strategy works. You have to hide in the corner to get away from Munchkin's line of sight. And then Fleta's just going to rain damage. Who's going to deal with Fleta is the question. EQO can fire some flat cannon up at it. Boombox actually might be their best anti-Para right now.
There we go. Taking the time, lining up the shots. He's going to have infra sight. Now going to be able to see through walls. That's always handy. Neptuno in the line, and Munchkin will get tagged. They're trying to focus this guy down, trying to get him to feel a little bit less comfortable back here. Carpe and Boombox, Neptuno even chiming in, and Seoul Dynasty get rebuffed.
Really nice defensive transition there. They were in the corner. They decided they don't want to sit down there and just take free damage the entire time, and they make a beautiful rotation because they have this speed boost. They get through Hotel, and Seoul's unable to match that. They lose their healers who aren't able to rotate quickly enough and get to the rest of their team. Seoul has made huge changes here. This is the time you have to do it. Although even only 20 seconds left, I don't think Zuma can get there. Not with 4 charge.
Not with 4 charge. He needs to get those barriers in play. He needs to start getting the energy, but never mind. Carpe again with the hero play. Jaehyung and Miro out of it. Pasted to the wall, and Munchkin's gone as well. They march forward now, Philadelphia Fusion to victory here, as there is no coming back for Seoul Dynasty. They will not be able to get onto the point, and it will be a 5-3. Oh, as I say that, of course, Toby's going to be all the way back there, just keeping it alive, but it's not going to be good enough. Philadelphia Fusion make it happen. 5-3 win on Kings Row over Seoul Dynasty. Series is at 2-1, and we are going the distance. 4 maps.
Another favorite phrase of Philly sports fans. We're a second half team, man. We're going to make adjustments. We're going to come back out. Gibraltar is one of their best maps. They are going to it next. We could be going to 5 years. Philadelphia has brought this series back into contention.
Boom.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. Omened by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. And by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League.
back, everybody, from the break. We are going into map 4 now. It's going to be on Gibraltar. Also an exciting map because it's payload ties that don't happen here. This is going to end it.
Yeah, it has to end this one. Well, I mean, we could go to map 5 and, you know.
Philly win.
Well, if Philly win, but Philly's got a 100% win rate on Gibraltar. They don't lose on Gibraltar thus far. I think a lot of it has to go to Carpe when he runs Widow on this map, although they've been running EQO on Widow on this map as well. It would be really interesting because Carpe has had giant moments as Widow and Tracer.
And
so
Tracer.
But I wonder, because EQO can play a Tracer. I know it. I've seen it. It's a good hero for him. Carpe is probably a little better at it, but I think Carpe, more seasoned on the Widow, has bigger moments. We'll see. I mean, EQO can pick up anything. You can still run a Genji Widow, Genji Tracer. A lot of options here as we go to Gibraltar. Philly trying to force a map number 5. Go back to Control, try to redeem themselves. They did not look good on Control earlier.
This is kind of where you're just feeling, let Carpe stay on Tracer, right? Because the plays that he was making on King's Row really turned it around for them. And so if he's feeling Tracer right now, if he's feeling comfortable in winning these duels versus Munchkin and really getting into the back line and chewing them up, you know, just let Carpe play, you know, according to his strengths. But it does seem like Widow is going to be part of the core strategy, at least to start.
Yeah, it's just odd because every map's a good Tracer map. You know my bias in that direction anyway. But there are some maps that are less good than others, Animal Farm style. So it's you can opening with Tracer is difficult because the defense is always going to be set up high ground. So what are you really going to get done? Except you got to blink up the stairs and hopefully get to the back line. So that's why you don't see a whole lot of Tracer openings. And when you get to like lower ground and when there's better stairs, even shuttle phase, you can run a Tracer because you can be in back line. And then of course last is still a decent Tracer point because there's a couple good flanks she can get in there without having to worry about. And the defense will generally not be set up on a high ground area for last. But it's no Lijiang Tower when it comes to Tracer. Let me say that.
Yeah, it's no well, that is really like you're comparing, you know, the best Tracer map with everything else, right? You know, let's just keep it there.
And defensive Tracer works here too because if they dive in, then the supports are going to be on the ground on the back side of things, and you can go abuse that. So it's just the areas for effect for offensive Tracer are not the greatest on Gibraltar, which is why you see a lot of Widow Genji openings. The verticality is king here.
Oh, Carpe, not going to waste any time. Chucks that Sonic Arrow out. Getting a bit of the info, and then swips over to the Widow immediately. And so Poco going to start making some progress on that payload. They are going to be able to scope out the setup here for Seoul Dynasty.
Looks like Seoul wants to already rotate back and hold on to server room. This has been the strategy we have seen largely through the Overwatch League, and they need someone up here to deny. You do not want to let Carpe get set up here. Usually it's going to be a Winston or a Diva job, and their only job is to play Bouncer up there and not let them set up offensively and get sightlines into server room. Carpe down. Fled has done his job.
Yeah, Fled has done his job. He found Carpe, managed to get that pick, that snipe. That's a big one because now Miro can move up here onto the high ground and continue pressuring. Neptuno will get the res off on Carpe, so it looks like he was killed in an easy area to make that happen at least. But you have EQO up here. He is getting backed up by his Diva. I'm a bit surprised not to see Miro up here. It seemed like that was one of the go-to kind of flavors, but to not have your Winston on the high ground.
Well, he's down there actually protecting his Genji on the low ground too. I think they were trying to bait EQO in. They deflected right in his face, which is a time that a Genji will want to go against another Genji. But EQO smartly recognized there was a Winston right behind that. They were trying to bait him in.
So Carpe now in that ideal spot. He's got the Infrasight up as well as ultimate, allowing him to see through walls, allowing his team to see through walls. But there's the chase. Nano boosted Monkey going right in for the cleave damage, trying to play it safe. Miro able to get out in time.
They don't get anything out of that, though. And meanwhile, a Valkyrie has gone off. Philadelphia is going to have a great deal of healing over the top. Still not anything out of that ultimate either. Fleta's got the blade. He's at less than half health, though.
Fleta right now, he is finding these kills that are making all the difference. Once again, Neptuno will have the res, bringing EQO back into it, and Fleta gets picked by Carpe. There we go. The trade-off that Carpe was looking for finally happens. Self-destruct out in the open, not going to matter because Jayhong is invuln while he has his trance going.
Poco left all alone back there. EQO trying to bring this back. They get two really quick kills on both supports on the other side of things. Miro has popped his Primal Rage now, trying to deflect this, but I think Philly still has a window here where there's no healing for Seoul.
Unless there is going to be the reflecting here from Fleta, not quite getting as much out of his ult as he was hoping. Fraggy eventually going to tase him to death. But in the meantime, Munchkin went to work. 2 kills for him. Definitely slowing things down here for Philadelphia Fusion. EQO will get caught by Miro, but that's pretty much what's expected. When you're caught in a corner, with the taser and your Genji.
Jaehong got back just in time. Of course, the healers that they do have, they're going to have spawn advantage and they're distance healers as well. So the moment that you can at least see one of your teammates, they're going to get healed up. Toby going to be holding this high ground. Already has another nano to use. Not the best nano targets. I think one of the tanks is generally going to get it, especially Fleta without a blade. You don't generally see a nano to Genji. There it is on the wing.
Yeah, there it is. Immediately, Miro once again, rinse and repeat. Doesn't even overcommit, just comes right back over here. Gonna go ahead and see if he can't get on top of this. What? Neptuno out in the open. Fraggy and Poco getting separated from their teammates, and that cost them a mercy.
All of Seoul's healing down again. This is the same situation, but Philly has to be quick to capitalize on it. They will be respawning, and now getting juggled into the corner is Miro. Carpo's able to take down the other tank. Fraggy falls. I will never count Seoul out of it just yet. They have one person alive, but they're gonna get reinforcements. They refight.
There we go. Munchkin just buying enough time to make it happen. Fleta is gonna be there with the dash through EQO. And Munchkin really staying alive, making all the difference with the kills, and then managing to just keep on top of this payload. That's gonna buy the time. 30 seconds left on the clock. And once again, Philadelphia Fusion get reset.
It's really smart from Seoul there as well. Once you get that bad spawn on Gibraltar, a home of spawns that can really hurt the defense, you might as well go in anyway so that you die as a team and you come back together with better spawns. It's so dangerous when to fight here, but with the cart right outside the door, smart choice there. Last gasp for Philly.
Have to make it happen here. The streak on the line. Carpe, see if he can come up with any heroics. He does have the pulse. Yep, gonna go for the stick. Oh, manages to put it on the payload instead of the target. No Diva kills there. EQO, though, has got the Dragon Blade, but he's under fire. Trance is going to keep him alive, and the Trance from Jaehong committed immediately. This could turn it, as now there is nothing to cancel out to this ult. EQO going to chop Toby in half, looking for more. Fleta is the one going to work right now. Poco been demeched.
Dueling blades on both sides. Right now, though, it is Seoul still in control. Both tanks will fall as Munchkin on the cleanup crew. A dash through from EQO will try, but I've got two dashes as Fleta locks it out.
When you got those low HP targets there, that's all Fleta was hoping for. 2 dash kills and a shuriken dash as well. And while that is a very solid defense, excellent work from Seoul Dynasty. No heroics possible this time, it looked like, for Philadelphia Fusion, despite the fact that Carpe was definitely trying in EQO as well.
They were committing so much to get to Seoul supports, and it worked a lot of time, but they were unable to come back to their own supports and make sure that the fight was going to be in their favor, because more than once, they killed both Seoul supports, but they were unable to capitalize quick enough, and the last thing you can do is give Seoul a chance to get back on defense, because they'll take it every single time, and they always miraculously pull it out. They've got an order in which they come back in to touch the cart, to contest, and then when the healers get back there, you've lost your opportunity.
Exactly, or Miro for the one. He was the hero there, just jump packing in.
Yeah, Miro has steadily improved, I think, over the Overwatch League season. Of course, he came onto the scene with such a splash in the World Cup 2 years back, really defined how people wanted to play Winston, made Winston a popular hero. And for one of the first times in Overwatch, before that, he was a little underplayed at times. Of course, some changes to the game helped that as well. But Miro struggled a little bit early on, especially in Stage 1. It wasn't the dominant Miro that we'd always seen, but now he's playing a little more conservatively. He seems alive much more often, and in comparative to the other tank, we showed in the stats in the pregame, Miro's definitely been staying alive and getting more done than Fraggy.
When it comes to structured play, few are going to outshine Seoul Dynasty. That's for damn sure. They are looking very good. Everything thought out. But Philadelphia Fusion haven't been slouching either on the defense, and so let's see if now they're the ones who can really get the shutdown going here on Seoul Dynasty. No first point possible here for Seoul Dynasty if Philadelphia Fusion want to tie up the series and take it to a tiebreaker map.
The problem, I think, in this matchup particularly is that Philadelphia has been able to out-mechanic a lot of the teams that they've beat up on, and that's generally just not going to happen with Seoul. And then Seoul doesn't make mistakes. They simply do not make mistakes, and when they do, the other team is usually a little too late to capitalize on it. Now, Philadelphia has to have a defense of a lifetime on Gibraltar here.
Given their streak, it is still definitely possible here for them. Deciding to play it a bit passively, a bit of a similar style here to what we saw from Seoul Dynasty on the defense as far as the setup is concerned. Neptuno and Boobox once again as a duo, watching each other's backs, and now Fleta on the high ground, trying to force them off. Carpe gonna have something to say about that, but never mind. Jaehong with that snipe out of nowhere.
Gets wrangled into that over there. Boombox and Carpe both out. Neptuno soon to fall, and that is the man of the hour in Miro. He gets himself a couple of kills. Baby Blaster out, but Zuma out of mech. So far, advantage still for Seoul, but they're being held back by the cart being slow to push. Poco's just stalling it out, but Philadelphia can't buy a kill right now.
They can't. It doesn't seem like it. Carpe's going to do the best Munchkin impression that he can here, trying to just challenge on this point, trying to stay alive as best he can. He will eventually get whittled down, and Munchkin cuts off the reinforcements. It will be Seoul Dynasty prevailing in the end. 3-1 victory over the Philadelphia Fusion. Excellent work, faultless play from Seoul in the end.
This seemed like one of the most team-oriented Seoul wins we've seen in a bit, because yesterday it was Bunny going absolutely off against Shanghai. There's been days where Fleta carries them, where Jaehyung carries them, the tanks are rock solid, but it seemed like no one had this a spectacular head-to-hard carry performance. Every piece in its rightful place, and Seoul looks like a well-oiled machine right now.
They are a joy to watch. Seoul, well, taking their time, yeah. Gonna go for the handshakes real quick here with their opponents, Philly. And well, Philadelphia Fusion, it's just, they're going to have to keep working on it. If they're going to be swapping in EQO instead of Shadowburn, that's going to have to be a moving part that they're going to have to get a hand on. And while it seems like there are still a few kinks left here in the machine that they need to figure out.
Those two play so differently. It's about changing your style on the fly, which has not been Philly's forte thus far. They've got all the talent, but it's just about putting it together, having that same style. We're gonna head out to a break. We'll be back after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Hello and welcome back, everyone. This is Zoe, and I'm now joined by Munchkin from the Seoul Dynasty. Please give it up once more. You guys just walked off this stage with a victory, but let's talk a little bit about what we just saw. It was a close match. The end result might not actually give that away, but it was close. What made it so close? Why are the fusions so hard for all the teams they're facing off against?
필라델피아에서 3대1로 이기긴 했는데 사실 이거보다 3대2까지 가서 더 고전할 줄 알았는데 오늘 저희가 운도 좋았고 게임이 잘 돼가지고 쉽게 이겼던 것 같아요.
Philadelphia is really strong team, so even though we won 3-1 today, I thought we would be struggling more in like 3-2, but we were lucky today and we performed well, so I'm glad.
All right, lucky and performed well. I think everyone can agree with that statement. You guys are still undefeated in stage 2. Is there any team in the league you think can actually take a victory over you?
저희를 이길 수 있을 만한 팀은 뉴욕이라고 생각하는데 뭐 다른 팀들도 다 잘해요. 근데 그나마 뉴욕이 강하지 않을까. 뉴욕 이기는 거에 신경 많이 쓸 것 같아요.
Every team is really good in the league, so but New York might be the one who can stop us, but we'll do our best.
All right, they'll do their best. Thank you so much, Munchkin. Thanks a lot for joining me here down on the floor. And we're now heading over to the desk to break down the action between the Fusion and the Seoul Dynasty.
Thank you so much, Sorry. Hey, man, at the end of the day, all you can do is just try your best. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's it. That's all it is.
I mean, I was lucky today with my prediction. If Munchkin is speaking.
Hey, man, you want to know why? Because you tried your best.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you.
No, seriously, though, it was a solid call because I think this Seoul team has just been on fire. Stage 2 has been their stage.
I mean, this is their meta, right? There's no mercy in play. They know how to play the Lucio, of course. Toby, fantastic Lucio player. And then you have Ryuji Hongodes and Yara. And the way they have the teamwork going on, I mean, this team in many ways, I think people started to sleep on them a little bit because they couldn't adapt to the Mercy meta, but they're looking so good right now.
Yeah, troubling in that particular meta, and I'm sure that's something that they would want to address moving forward in case something like that ever occurs once again. But, though, the good news is it's all rainbows and sunshine for the Seoul Dynasty as they are dominating the competition right now.
Yeah, it's pure luck city for them, right? Fleta continues to just be the luckiest player of all time. No, but all seriousness, this guy is just like,
off the charts.
How good can he be?
Like, he's a contender.
It gets better. He really gets better. That's frustrating.
Like
this guy, right? You see him at the level, and you're like, all right, sure, this is the elite DPS, and then he beats that. So then you're like, well,
I mean, he is arguably one of the best, if not the best, DPS player in the league. I mean, you'd have to go up against Saibiolbi, Prophet, etc., Birdring, of course, but he's a big contender.
Actually, I see Fleta more like a Vegeta here, where Birdring can be the Goku when he goes Super Saiyan. He actually takes over and just becomes like a just.
I don't watch anime.
Who's the Jiren though?
I only watched the first.
Oh come on, you gotta watch Super. Unbelievable, unbelievable. I'm working with a bunch of bums. All right. Well, first, so before we get into our Fleta Love Fest here, I do want to talk about Carpe because he actually just numerous times were just lights out on this Tracer.
Watch this play right here because we got a long string of plays. So he's lurking away. He's gonna pick off Jaehong, then waits, and then recognizes that Seoul was trying to flank the next time around. Deals with the first flank of Fleta, then goes to deal with the second flank of Munchkin, and then positions himself perfectly for the next fight. This is just an all-around single carry play.
Yeah, I mean, Carpe is such a huge performer for the Philadelphia, of course. Throughout Stage 1 and Stage 2, Carpe has really been the DPS player to go. They've struggled choosing between Shadowburn and EQO, but Carpe is such a consistent performer, so smart and so good. I mean, he should also be up there with Fleta, right? I mean, he is also arguably one of the best Tracers, best players in the league.
But the thing is that Carpe, we see him almost always on the Tracer. We really don't get to see him show off a lot of flexibility, whereas Fleta, he's got the Widow. He's got the Widow. He's got the Genji. He's got so many heroes up his arsenal that it's really hard to put them both. Sure, they can perform to that same level, but can they perform to that same level on
They don't need him to be.
Same, yeah, exactly. They don't need him. They don't need him to be that way because EQO can pull off all the flex.
What was the, I guess, defining factor that gave Philadelphia the victory 5-3 on Kings Row. Besides the incredible plays from Carpe, what else were they doing?
Well, we talked about this on the desk a bit, me and Crumbs. And
that hook.
Seoul Dynasty, they're looking a bit stale. They weren't really willing to have huge hook coming out, of course, as you said, Bola Boy. But of course, they did stick to Genji and Tracer quite often, and it's not really been the composition to go on Kings Row, where you see these tanks. And Philadelphia Fusion, I think, they had the advantage playing the triple tank composition.
And there was a time, actually, where they were running the Widowmaker Tracer into triple tank, which it can work, but you have to pick up the support, so you're relying on very high mechanical execution to be able to pull this off. And sure, Seoul is the team that can do that, but
it was very close.
It's close, but it's not going to be consistent, right? It's a lot easier. You start and having an easier time if your heroes are the best heroes for the job.
Yeah, and anyone who has followed Lunatic High or Seoul Dynasty know that Sunbai is one of the best Saryas in the world as well. Miro has struggled a bit on the Reinhardt in the past, of course, but we're at such a high level, so it doesn't really matter that much. So I think that Seoul Dynasty, they do have the potential to play these heroes if they have to.
Yeah, and I mean, that is just the Dynasty in a nutshell, man. The potential is through the roof for this team. Then
they're looking like a stage 2 champion. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're right.
You're
right. I was just going to segue into something, Johnny. Do you want to talk about Game 4? Do you want to talk about
do your job. Do your job, dude.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Johnny, for allowing me to do my job. Okay, I'm kidding. I love you. All right, I can never be mad at you. Game 4. Watch Point Gibraltar. Now, what was interesting about this was that while the stage is still pretty early on, gentlemen, this was a great map for Philadelphia, but did not seem that way, apparently.
Well, it was even greater for Seoul. I think what I really liked was how they were dealing with the Widowmaker out of Carpe, and I think EQO had some time on Widowmaker as well. They were just constantly sending members to try to poke away at the Widowmaker, just have her back off of the high ground, and then eventually they commit everybody to try to take her down. And they just have such a good amount of patience when it comes to holding specific areas, because when you're playing these tanks, and I want to highlight the tanks, it's not your job to soak up damage, like literally eat bullets 24/7. If you can avoid taking damage, you do that. You use the environment to get around that, and that's what the team was doing so well. They're still tanking, but they're not taking damage. They're avoiding the team, and what that does is you get less ult charge on your opponents. You get more positioning around yourself, and you stall out the map, especially as a defender.
Yeah, now the grams to my golden hexagrams. Because he called me Golden Grams, you know. I do look like a delicious cookie, though. Whatever. Did mention, though, he was talking about that this is probably the most team-oriented that we've seen Seoul. Johnny, I want to get your thoughts on that, Reinforce, because do you feel that that this team, like yesterday, it was a lot of bunny. He was all over the place on Shanghai, right? Very individual performance, very top-tier individual performance, excuse me. Whereas this time around, that coordination from Dynasty was ridiculous.
Yeah, well, I highlighted this in the pregame as well, that Miro is really good at utilizing the utility coming out from Seoul Dynasty with the support ultimates, the defense matrix, etc. So everyone in this team just knows their limits perfectly and know the game plan. And they're just the fundamentals, as I said in halftime, they are so good.
I'm going to throw you a curveball here that I think what the Seoul Dynasty was doing. So yesterday, the only member that played against the Shanghai Dragons that played today was Toby. Toby is the shot caller for the Seoul Dynasty, which means that from what I'm seeing, they probably just put Toby in there. You know what? Try to shot call with this team, with a team that is not your own. Try to hone your skills as a shot caller and see how it translates into the actual tougher opponent in Philadelphia Fusion. So not only do you get Bunny a lot of 1v1 Tracer practice, but you also get Toby to try to coordinate a team that might have less coordination. So you step up 2 elements of your play that you can incorporate into your top tier roster. And I think that's what we saw today, because they were just really on point.
Now I'm just saying, if Gambler actually was here, he's acquiring his visa, of course. He just joined Seoul Dynasty now in stage 2. If Gambler was here, he's also a shot caller. I could have seen him play yesterday versus the Shanghai Dragons, of course. So potentially, but since they don't have a second Lucio player, they don't have like Mano on the bench, who plays for New York, who's been on that role temporarily. They don't have him available, so I could have seen them popping out Toby if need be.
Well, gentlemen, you know, we gotta talk about who our player of the match is. Our player of the match brought to you by Omen by HB, and who better than Fleta? That's right. I like that. It was a good one.
We were making Fleta jokes today.
we made Fleta jokes. And Fleta's the meta because he's so better.
One of the ones that isn't really a joke, but kind of true, is that, well, he gets booped here by the self-destruct, is that you could pretty much make an argument that every time Fleta plays, he earns player of the game. Like, he's legitimately in contention every single time he plays. So
I think he's up there on the leaderboard. I mean, he is so good. And you see here, final blows on EQO. He just shut down the DPS, which we talked about so much. EQO and Carpe, of course.
EQO had 7 on him. EQO had 7 on him, though.
Yeah, but it's pretty close.
But it's not 11.
Yeah, it's not 11.
He didn't get player of the match. It was Fleta who got it, and he got it for a reason. He just popped off today. And that Genji towards the end of Gibraltar, man, oh God, he just racked up play after play.
Yeah, and I could tell you just had such a crush on him.
Yeah.
One moment.
Yeah, I'd be the Winston to his Genji, man, any day.
Any day, any day. That was, of course, our player of the match brought to you by Omen by HP. And I mean, Seoul Dynasty, just they're keeping this going. They are clearly showing that they are heads and tails above everyone else right now in in this current state in stage 2. Do you think that they can continue this run reinforced?
I think definitely they're going to the stage 2 playoffs for sure. Can they beat London Spitfire in New York? We'll see about that. Those two teams are looking really hot right now. But it's playoffs for sure, and then it's just more an information game and enduring.
Munchkin did say that New York was the team that they were. I mean, which makes sense.
He was very polite in that interview.
Yeah, fair point. Fair point. You know, I get it.
They were a bit lucky. Are they lucky against New York? Stay tuned. We'll see.
Stay tuned next time on Dragon Ball Z. There you go. Right? Nailed it. I want to be a voiceover guy for an anime one day. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time here.
Thank you.
Yeah, always, baby, always. We'll be back. Don't worry about it. We will be right back here because coming up next, we got the Houston Outlaws going up against the Los Angeles Valiant. Can LA bounce back after that loss against the Gladiators? Only one way to find out, and it's after this.